have a snowball fight.
Oh, wait, I forgot.
Wait, we're here already.
I know, we are. Welcome
That
back.
was fast.
Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. We're reporting live from the north where record cold has hit and we can't feel our faces. We're going numb. Numb. We can't feel our faces because it's so cold and it's snowing outside. This is a live cam from somewhere outside that was recorded at some point by someone. All that cold snow, and I believe that this is all thanks to global warming.
Talk to Dane Wigington. It's
I can't. It's just it's too much. My nose going numb. I need tissues. I'm dripping. We're dripping from the. I can't breathe. Have you guys ever noticed that you can't breathe? And then what happens is you cover your face.
the dog's cold too.
And you start to breathe in your carbon monoxide, and then you get heady. But then you go like this, and then your snot inside of your nose, attached to the hair follicles, starts to freeze.
And then your nose gets all crusty.
So then you start thinking to yourself, okay, I'm going to just breathe out of my mouth, which also then helps with the headiness. Because you're... And then your lungs start to freeze and crystallize in place.
Okay, so this is actually what Michelle and I really do wear for about 6 hours of every day. And
in the winter.
In the winter, not in the summer. So we thought we would show you guys. Now I'm hot. I can't.
It's burning up.
I can't.
It's so cold. It's starting to get hot.
Yes. So here's the thing. I guess if any of you are in 3/4
What are you doing? You're going to ruin the thing.
If any of you are in 3/4 of the United States, watch as we are just epically going to transform ourselves on live TV.
Because here's the thing. Leah and I, for those of you that don't know, we pet sit. And in the winter, in temperatures like this,
and we have animals that we take care of.
And outside. So I don't know, 15 times, 16, 20. See, I knew you were gonna do that. I kept saying, watch it. She's tossing.
It's still in a good angle.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, about 50. I don't know. I can't count how many times a day we go through this routine, because you arrive at the pet visit and you take the animal outside, and you need all of this gear here.
Try to fix this hair here.
And then you come inside of the client's house and you have to take it all off. Now, usually, here, give me my thing. Can you reach that? Bend over and reach that?
Yeah.
Usually, we've either got a snowsuit or
these are a
nice
godsend.
Carhartt,
baby.
Whole
Carhartt
suit here.
Yes.
Okay? This is, this is integral to what we do. So you really get out of, just getting in the car. I'm going to be completely honest, and I think I'm in pretty good shape. But when I'm all bundled like that, and I get into whether it's the Jeep or the van or whatever car I'm taking to the next pet visit, and I have to put my seatbelt on, I dread it, because I have to turn around about 8 inches, and my arm, and so I'm like, I do one of these. I'm like, ready, whoop-pow, right? Because that's all you can do. Either that, or it's going to have to be a slow, and then you put it on, and then you're driving, and then when you got the headgear on, it's kind of dangerous, right? Because I have to back out of our driveway. Every time I leave, I have to back out of the driveway, and I'm going like, I can't see. And I got half my vision is blocked, like some prairie, when you used to wear and I can't see, and it's awful. So we do this 20 times a day. So then when you leave the client's house, you got to put it all back on again in order to drive to the next house and do it all over again. And like Leah said, you're sweating, and you wear these fantastic gloves that get so hot.
I take one off for 5 minutes and then put it back on, so it breathes the inside of the glove because it doesn't get sweaty. Anyway, so it's cold. It's cold not just here. It's cold all over the country. They're record-breaking temperatures. What we just showed you was actually something from YouTube, but this is from Erie, Pennsylvania, which has seen 5 feet of snow. Yes, feet, not... Yes, feet of snow.
John and Terry wants to know if we look like the Pillsbury Doughboy when we bundle up. I think that's a very accurate description, and I feel like the Pillsbury Doughboy as well. We have to make the doors wider.
Great thing. Okay, so sometimes we jog or run with the dogs. Cool thing about being bundled up like that is when you fall, like I may have done yesterday, you kind of just bounce.
I want to know why you're telling the viewers this at the same time as telling me.
I meant to call and tell you, hey, I fell because I tripped on the ground was so hard. It was solid like a rock, and I tripped. It wasn't a rock that I tripped over. It was the mud that had been solidified. We live in southern Ohio, Cincinnati area, and we get a few cold snaps where it's in the single digits. Maybe not every year do we get, and Aaron can testify to this, not every year do we get negative temperatures or 0 degrees.
Right. She said, speaking of Aaron, she says, my friend is in Erie and they are looking at up to 16 more inches.
Wow. Whoa. Insane. Insanity. This cold snap has actually gone, it's nationwide. It's absolutely just, there's an ad here we're gonna.
But I'm telling you, we really can thank global warming.
And actually, I wanted to show you my Trump's tweet. In the East, it could be the coldest New Year's Eve on record. They're saying that Sunday evening is going to be the coldest out of this cold snap that we're having.
Right, and
New Year's Eve.
There's an argument between our local weather and the AccuWeather.com. Our local weather says we're going to get to negative 0 or to zero.
Just to 0.
AccuWeather says on Monday the low is going to be -6.
I'm going with ours. I'm going with ours.
Leah's holding out hope.
He says, in the East, it could be the coldest New Year's Eve on record. Perhaps we could use a little bit of that good old global warming that our country, but not other countries, was going to pay trillions of dollars to protect against. Bundle up.
Yeah, I love it. Well,
that's our president, and I
have we noticed just how much more enjoyable Trump's tweets are now that Twitter maximized the amount of tweets that you can do?
Thank you, Twitter. I don't think they meant to do that for Donald Trump.
For Trump. For Twitter Trump.
For Twitter Trump. For Trump's tweets.
For Trump's tweets. Do we have any pictures? Is she trying to go outside?
If she is, you're going to have to go open that door.
Do you think she needs to go outside?
Possibly.
Okay, fine.
Sorry, I'm going to have to run the show by myself for a second. Why, some of you might wonder, why is it that Michelle always goes and does the dogs? Because I have this cords to my left, and I'm not well known for... I might trip and break something. She has an open exit. You know, it's like a turnstile over there. Yes, we have long hair that will keep us warm. I have to tell you, when Michelle gets back, we're going to do our little beard skit here. So this is Erie. This is what Erie looks like after the storm dumped 5 feet of snow. This is the band of snow that was moving from Cleveland to Erie as it started to come in. Lots of snow here. Here, this one was funny. So they tried to help this UPS guy out. Doesn't go as planned.
Oh, oops. Dang, yeah, the rope broke. Shoot. Good try, though. A for effort.
A for effort on that one. You might not get your packages in Erie. This is on somebody's commute to work. Like through a tunnel, actually.
There are times when you call an emergency and you don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're like a doctor or a nurse or something.
Yeah.
You know, in which case then you actually just arrive at work and stay there for days.
Unfortunately, that's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's this. People having to go just seems a little bit. Same thing here. It's frigid in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I would imagine so. Frigid is. I have to be honest.
So you guys,
I'm glad we're not getting the snow and just the cold temperature.
So from people, wherever you're at, why don't you give the temperature where it is right now? I believe ours is somewhere hovering around 14 or 15 right now. And it's getting colder as we think. As we think? Yeah, as we even think.
15. So says my cell phone.
So here, this is just a mound. Those are cars. Those bumps.
That's great.
Those bumps are cars.
Oh,
Let's see. This was somebody decided to.
oh no!
You're not going to see it. You're going to see it all the way.
Oh no! Am I in the way?
Don't
do it.
Make sure you jump out far enough, Dad, or whoever's got the camera says. Not really a great idea.
Because you know what? Sometimes snow, it's not the best landing pad.
Ah!
Yeah, I think he did right, though, kind of like by spreading the weight out and not going straight with the legs. All right, hang on. Let's get some of these temperatures here.
Who's through the dogs?
Minus 41. A squirrel. Is that 41? That's got to be
Is that with
Fahrenheit?
the wind chill, or where are you?
Right, where are you? Erin says it's 13. She's a little bit north of us. 27 in Memphis, Tennessee. Shy M says 46 degrees in Humboldt, Northern California. Now, that's pretty cold for California, you know. 23 in North Charlotte. 20 in Florissant, Missouri. 32 in Wichita. Florida is 64.
Says -1 for Will.
Or for Worth a Look. -1 for you would be Celsius.
Oh, sorry. I get Will mixed up with Justin.
Let's see. I'm going to do the conversion here because I don't know what the -1 to Celsius would be. Let's see. -1 is 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's where it's at in Manchester. 20 degrees in southern Indiana. -5 in Ballymoo. Where's Ballymoo? What kind of name is that? Ballymoo.
This woman in Canada, she said it sounded like a gunshot. Her glass got so cold it broke.
Ooh, dang. Dang, dang, dang. 10 in Morristown, New Jersey. In South Florida, it was 78 degrees a few hours ago, and now it's 72 degrees.
Gonzalez!
Yeah.
No fair.
All right. 50 in Florida, says Gary. 19 in Philly, says Bill. A Squirrel said, I gave -41 in Fahrenheit, but where are you, my dear friend? And is that with the wind chill? 41 in Texas, says Amber. Hey, Amber, long time no see. Valley Money. But where is that?
What state?
Can they hear that?
I don't know.
Oh, hang on. I'm supposed to bring the speaker up here.
No sleep, work 36 hours straight. Plow drivers like Dave Wonder are struggling to make roads
Oh,
passable.
wow. Yeah, plow drivers.
We bought this place, and they're just keep plowing. It's nonstop.
But where the plows are failing, children and neighbors have stepped in. When this car got stuck in a snowbank, strangers pulled over to help get it back on the road.
Amanda says she's in Northern Ireland.
Why not?
Sisters Azare, Melizia, and Madison McCall are trying to make the best of it.
We haven't had a winter like this since we were little kids, and it just feels good to be playing out here again.
In New York, a state of emergency is in effect for Oswego County after they were blasted with more than 5 feet of snow.
I've not seen this. I've lived here my whole life. We've really gotten hit this year.
Firefighters in Lorraine used bulldozers and shovels to rescue a woman who was trapped in her home by a 6-foot snow wall.
It's freezing! We're cold!
Much of the United States is also getting blasted with bone-chilling cold. A bridge became partially stuck in Green Bay, Wisconsin because of the frigid temperatures. And this is the Grand Haven River in Michigan.
Gosh.
In Minnesota, temperatures dropped to 40 below zero in some parts, and Minnehaha Falls turned into an ice cave.
It feels like your skin is going to be on fire. It hurts after you're out there for a little while.
The good news is the airport is now back open, and that means we're headed in the right direction and making progress. But it's far from over because we could get anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of snow over the next couple of days. DeMarco Morgan, CBS News, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Wow. Glad we made the National Weather Wrap. We did it.
We got holding
Sorry.
number 35
Sorry.
on offense.
Oh, my. All right. So, A Squirrel says that he had answered, and I'm sorry if I didn't retain this, that he is in Northern Ontario, Canada, and that is not with the wind chill. So you win.
You win.
You win. Ding, ding,
Okay,
ding.
now,
Winning the prize.
could you tell? Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Watch this. Tell us what you do to survive, because that is like death-defying temperatures.
Worth a Look said that he saw the other day that they are predicting that the UK could face a mini ice age by 2030.
These people decided to have a little mini party.
Those people are nuts. They are just Oh, so Worth a Look also says to check on your elderly neighbors. That is a very good idea.
All right, so I
Yes.
mentioned the 66 inches in 2 days. How about the monthly amount of snow that we've seen so far in December? And
You are totally faking it, soy boy.
103 inches in December. That's unbelievable. The entire seasonal average in Erie is 102 inches, so we're already above that.
Whoa.
All right, so this is
That doesn't seem like a real temperature, I mean, a real fall.
These lake effect snow bands, you can see why. Whenever you see these thick ones,
I've heard
they
of
just
people.
set up
So
shop
we
and they don't
live
move
right
very
here.
much. Those are the ones that tend to drop a whole lot of snow. And by the way, that number 103, it also includes the winter storms that came before that. We were talking about the whole month of December, but a huge amount of that came from the lake effect over the last few days. Guess what? There's more lake effect snow on the way for you guys.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, we. Somebody said, if it's going to be this cold, it should at least snow, and I agree with that, 100%. So I want to play this video of people jumping into the snow. She just ran out recently. Now this looks like fun.
Oh, geez. Oh, geez. But once you've done it like one time, doesn't it mat down the...
I don't know, but I might have put my legs out.
I would have gone out, and then
Here's
there's
the
other
guy. Oh!
See, but he kind of thudded a little bit.
Yeah. This person decided to use their pajamas and their kayak.
That's fantastic. Oh.
Onto the driveway. Oh, yeah. Whoa! Not gonna happen.
No.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Never going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
I don't care if I'm Swedish. I'm American.
Nope.
It's not happening.
No, ow. Just get inside. Ow. Ow. Go. She looked like she was in real pain.
Of course she was. Of course she was. I think the mind goes into a state of shock.
Not gonna.
At that moment.
I'm not gonna do it, man.
Gosh.
I'm not gonna. Check this out.
That's the picture that we have for the profile on here.
Is it really?
For the actual thumbnail. Thank you. Let's see. Ray says, please send a prayer for people out in the cold tonight. Some of them are our veterans.
Absolutely. Yes. Now, see, that is daddy-daughter bonding right there.
That's fantastic.
I actually love snow. I love to play in snow. I love to sled ride in snow. And I love to play in snow when I'm warm. So we have tons of warm gear.
Leah really does like the snow. And as a good sister, I often go with her. And I enjoy myself for the sake of being with Leah. But
it's been a long time.
2 years. I think because Justin was still here. But I would not initiate a romp in the snow myself.
Romp in the snow.
So A Squirrel says, no one up here thinks the negative 40s are a big deal. Just keep your taps running so they don't explode. I'm in shorts right now making dinner. LOL. Canadians are tough, not including Justin Jihadi Trudeau.
That is impressive for you.
Cheyenne wants to know, do you love to drive on black ice, Leah? No, nobody likes the black ice. We usually do pretty okay here in Ohio. I mean, for the most part. See, they are really having a nice beach party. This is great. That is a fantastic.
So, we got this for Matt the other day. And the other day, what am I saying? Like, Jasper's standing right behind me. I don't know why. We got this for Matt several Christmases ago, actually. And, okay. Wait, where's the eyes?
No, so that I think is not for your nose. I think that's for your mouth, dude.
I'm going to try again.
That's so this obviously isn't for your nose because no one would have a beard above their nose.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Right? Okay,
so we got this for Matt. We got this for Matt. Okay. And, I actually prefer dudes who shave.
Yeah.
If you have a beard, that's great. I want to talk to you about, this is, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, I, Paul, say this, not the Lord.
Right.
So I, Leah, say this, not the Lord. However, I say that if a guy is going to be working outside in the winter,
right,
he has every reason to be growing a beard. Because I was outside, I've been outside, And I wear scarves and everything, but my cheeks, this part of my face, and this part of my
chapped.
face,
like I think you can see my face is still chapped.
It gets really cold, and you just can't see. And even if you breathe into the
scarf,
it just gets wet and moist and comes back, and then like it gets cold and freezes to your face.
Right.
So I was thinking about guys and beards, and Mr. Kansas, he normally shaves, and I gave him permission. Because
you gave him permission.
Yeah, to grow any beard if he wants to, because he's been spending a lot of time outside chopping wood. Lots of hours and hours outside in very, very cold temperatures. This is what guys do. They stroke their beards. It's kind of weird. Creepy to me. So anyways, but however, if a guy can work
little
harder,
female Santa, you look like a Muslim.
If a guy can work harder outside with having a beard,
right,
in spring, summer, and fall,
right,
they need to shave it and take it off,
right,
because if I had to go around with this on my face in the summer, I'm not going to get as much work done. I'm not going to wear, it's kind of like a beard for guys in the summer is almost like a headscarf for women in the summer.
Yeah.
They need to shave.
Yes.
God gave you the ability to shave. You shave in the spring.
Right.
And you shave, and my Uncle Jack actually does this quite well. Tell everybody what Uncle Jack does.
So Uncle Jack gets a haircut and a shave once a year.
Yes.
At Easter.
Yes.
And he gets it cut short, military short, full shave, everything like that. And then I think throughout the summer he kind of keeps it shaved a little bit. But then near the end of summer, he starts to let it grow out. But the hair completely, from that one haircut, grows all year long until Easter again. And the reason that he does this is because when he was a mechanic and he worked at the station up the street, he would have to be warm.
Right.
So it was just a routine that he got himself in.
He keeps his hair, keeps the back of his neck warm.
Keeps the back of his neck warm, yeah.
So since I'm inside, I don't need to. I'm gonna de-beard. I'm gonna shave real quick. Look at that. So we got a lot of hot mess going on here with this hair and the beard and the.
Now put the hat back on.
I'm looking for. I don't know where I put it.
Hang on, because these came from Eric and Eric Buskey's niece Amelia, and she did such a great job.
Look at that. That is huge, y'all. That is some big, like, electric hair. Like, wow. Like somebody said. Okay, so there's been a lot of news. Since we haven't come to you since Sunday.
You didn't get to the punchline once again.
Oh.
My favorite part of this whole spiel that you came up with. I don't know how you can skip out on this. Here's the beauty. We believe that since God did not give us that the reason that God gave men that is so that they could work outside in the cold. And that we don't have to go out and work in the cold because we don't have a natural protection, unless you were to
there you go,
tape it across your face or something.
Yep. That's what I say. So I don't feel guilty. But actually, Michelle and I, we were outside for hours. We put up some more plastic around our piggy pen because it's so cold. We want them to be warm, and we were outside and. It was cold. And we almost didn't come live tonight because I was just literally thawing out. Like I was thawing. And Michelle's like, but the people.
But you people.
And, of course, we love you.
And we missed you. It's been since Christmas Eve.
It's been.
I think this is the longest
Sunday.
lull we've had since we started Resistance Chips.
We've been incredibly busy and cold.
We've been working. This is this is our busiest time of year for pet sitting.
That it's cold here?
It is cold. Now, a squirrel, seriously,
Yeah, but dude. When your body goes from almost 60 degrees, which is what it was last week.
And that's what happened on the 23rd, or 24th. Yeah, it was the 23rd. It was the day before Christmas Eve. It was like 50 degrees here. And then the next day, snow. And it was like really the first significant snowfall that we had.
I walked dogs like a week and a half ago in a t-shirt.
Right.
A t-shirt. So to go down to 0 from a t-shirt, your body isn't ready for this.
No.
So we're just going to have to make it happen.
We are.
Alrighty then. So a lot has been happening, but a lot hasn't been happening. It's kind of like the same stories over and over again, So that's why I don't want to go to Edge right now. Thank you, Microsoft, for This is my show.
So I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. We had a busy one, but it was a good one. Right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we have stuff to open. Maybe we'll do that at the end of the show. We haven't had time to open it yet. We have something we're going to bring to you on Sunday from Sean. Oh, speaking of which, Sean and Tracy, you guys know Tracy as Tallulah Lula and Sean as Shawnee Show. He's a new moderator on our channel. They're the UK couple that have done some accent challenges and stuff for us. And we opened their gift last night, and we Skyped with them on Facebook. And we had a blast. So we're going to do an interview with them, just talking about the differences between the UK and the US and stuff.
But we're going to show you their gift on Sunday.
But I got a message from them today, and I don't want to go into details, but I want you to pray for Tracy because she's going under
surgery right now.
Emergency surgery, and I think she'll be fine with it, but tonight. So say a prayer for Tracy, and hopefully by Sunday we will have an update to let you know how she is doing.
Yes.
Oh, snap, it says.
All right, so a few things I wanted to start out with here is
Sydney, because that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Oh my gosh, that's like the whole thing.
That's got plastic.
Take the plastic. Sydney found a treat with its plastic still on.
Here, you can have that little bit. Weirdo.
It's like, what is that noise?
We've never had a dull moment around here.
Stories coming out of Chicago and Baltimore paint an increasingly pessimistic picture. The article is titled, "What Has Made America's Inner Cities into a Violent War Zone?" And actually, it doesn't answer the question. It paints Chicago
picture
and Baltimore as death centers, literally just death centers, homicide centers. And they have these like this little ticker here to where it'll show you like how many deaths there are, and they're definitely concentrated in just a few neighborhoods in Chicago and a few neighborhoods in Baltimore.
A little toasty in here,
and it's sad. It's sad. It's you can see the numbers ticking there as the years go by. And it's gang related, it's drug related. You think of the heroin epidemic. What happens in these cities? The same thing that happens here. So the rural and the rich white kids drive downtown, and they get their drugs from the black kids downtown, and it's an endless death cycle. So you have the heroin deaths, and you have the gang deaths in these inner cities, and some people aren't for reparations, and some people don't understand how reparations could or should work. Handing a bunch of people a bunch of money isn't going to solve any problems. However, at the end of our particular Civil War, every black person was
supposed to get 40 acres and a mule,
which would have set people up with property.
Right. And a way to work that property. You have a piece of hay on it.
Sorry.
Let me get it. Calm down.
Sorry, I'm not a touchy person.
Well, they know that by now.
Yeah, so I am open to somehow getting these people out of the inner city because it is a cycle.
It's not just open to. I want to get them out of the inner city. Like a mass exodus of the inner cities.
Well, we have all this federal land out west.
Yeah.
It's not being used.
They should open up a grant. And I'm not for programs. I'm not for any kind of stuff like this. But they could open up some sort of like, if you want to go west, like Oklahoma, and give land, and then there could be some sort of clause. Like you have to work it for, whatever.
Or something.
So many years. You can't sell it for whatever.
You gotta do something. These people can't live there. I mean, they've got rodents the size of cats. Everything is blighted. They need to get out. It's disgusting. They shouldn't live there anymore. It's it's repulsive. It's inhumane to keep people in these government tenements and government housing. Yeah. We need programs to teach people how to fish. Stop giving them government food stamps. Teach them how to grow food, and that's where we go with that. I'm not sure how many people are going to be listening to what I have to say, but
I don't know, because there have been a lot of inner city people that make their way out to the countryside, and they make a life change, and they are now kind of like a spokesman or a figurehead for a city exodus.
Okay, so I have been trying to follow what our representatives are talking about, the dossier and the FBI, nothing has really been done, but there's been a lot of talk. And it's been almost since Saturday or last Friday that we came to you, but I am going to bring to you a couple snippets.
From Congress to turn over documents. You referred to the Nunes letter as Kevin Corke did. I've got a copy of it in front of me. It's clear from the letter that Rod Rosenstein, Deputy Attorney General, overseeing the Mueller investigation, has been stonewalling and defying lawful subpoenas from Congress to turn over documents. At some point in time, do you think that these folks need to be held in contempt of Congress, refer it to a federal judge for prosecution if necessary?
So I think that January 3rd deadline should be the last straw. And if they don't produce it, I think Congress needs to act. Doing a contempt, we can do inherent contempt in Congress. That was done for 175 years. Hasn't been done recently, but I think the American people would support that. So absolutely, we need to get the answers to those questions. And I think there have been enough deadlines, and I think you have to act. We also we have an appropriations bill coming up the third week of January. There's nothing preventing us from putting restrictions on funding, defunding Rosenstein's travel budget, doing things like that so that we're also biting back with the power of the purse.
You're a Harvard-trained lawyer. You were a prosecutor. You know that when people stonewall a lawful subpoena, they're covering up, aren't they? They're hiding wrongdoing in most cases.
I think that's correct, but here's the thing, though, and this is really a test of Congress. People can get away with stonewalling Congress now because Congress doesn't exert itself. So there's a small band of us, like me, like Nunes, like Biggs. We want Congress to flex its muscle here. If you're subpoenaed by the U.S. Congress and it's a lawful subpoena, you comply with it. If you're not complying with it, there's got to be
consequences.
Yeah, we've had too long. We've had everybody. We've had our Congress. They're part of the deep state too. So I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you. So Amber says, back to the topic that we were talking about. She says, my problem with that is, how do you prove you are the child of a slave? There are many people who are children of immigrants that came after slavery had ended. Or what about the free blacks? So who also own slaves? To me, there are so many variables that it would be hard to make sure the land was given only to the right people. At this point, I wouldn't even care whether it went to slaves. You know what I mean? If it's, I would be okay with it going to anyone that lives in these impoverished areas. You know what I mean? You qualify for welfare under certain criteria.
We're already paying. The numbers are astronomical.
Right.
Per family in the inner city, in poverty. They never get out. I mean, over a lifetime, what is paid to people who live habitually on welfare is well worth of, 5 acres and some here's how to farm help. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally agree. And I think that there would be a lot of us farmers who would be willing to donate their time for these education purposes, hands-on classes where they can come to your farm and teach them how to do things for free. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't even have to be something that costs money.
It's my opinion, and it's not just my opinion. It's scientific in our research of healthy living. There are so many toxins in the inner city. There are toxins in the food that you eat because you're not growing it yourself.
Right.
There are toxins in cans.
In the air.
There's toxins in the air. There's toxins in the water.
Right.
Add to that this toxicity of the family being broken down.
Public schools.
And we all know that when we get out in nature, we feel better.
Right.
And I'm telling you, gangster gonna put the gun down or learn to shoot something to eat it.
Right.
These people need people who are addicted to drugs, people who are addicted to violence, people who are just so broken. They need grounding. My hat just keeps falling off. They need grounding. They need
see, that's cute. No, you don't have to push it back all the way. There you go. That's good.
Oh, okay.
That'll stay.
We all know, I don't know if you guys have heard of grounding, but like touching the earth with your...
So what happens is we build up all these positive ions or whatever, I don't know what they're called exactly, all day long being around electronics, which was never an issue before the Industrial Revolution, and we had all of these electronics. And you have to get them out of your body somehow. And it's called earthing or grounding or whatever, literally walking outside, sitting on the ground or walking barefoot We have grounding mats that you can use. Just go watch the documentary The Grounded and you'll understand exactly what we're saying. But we have where you literally can step on the mat, and Kansas has it hooked up to outside. You can sleep on it so that all night long it's drawing these positive ions away, or I don't know exactly the technical terms here. Forgive me for that, but go watch the documentary and it will make sense.
Grounding is awesome.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Worth a look says there is a fire in an apartment in New York. 10 dead so far. 15 seriously injured as firefighters fight the flames.
That's awful. That's awful.
Okay, carry on. I'm sorry. We just jumped from story back to story.
So we're going back here. This is CNN telling the truth for one time. I'm not going to hold my breath for when they do it again, but there is a CNN legal analyst who literally he was speaking the truth, and I was shocked. It shocked me.
And originally, I was angered at the president's attacks on the FBI. I thought they were unjustified. But when I started to delve into the facts, boy, there's some really disturbing stuff here. I mean, what Grassley is talking about is this agent, his name is Strzok, and he's a counterintelligence agent for the FBI. He's exchanging text messages with his girlfriend, Lisa Page, which just trash the president. They call him an idiot, and, you know, that language we put up on screen was the mildest of it. But they essentially, the two of them, the lawyer and the agent, agreed that the president is a threat, or would be a threat to the country if elected. Now, he's in a central role in the Hillary email investigation. And as a matter of fact, Strzok was the person who went to James Comey just before Comey had that famous press conference where he kind of let Hillary off the hook and said the investigation is going to be dropped into criminal charges. Strzok was the guy who changed the language, which originally was that she was grossly negligent in her handling of classified material, and he softened it to say extremely careless, which is not criminal. This is the same guy who the Inspector General now has exchanging these emails showing that he has a personal bias against the president. So that's what Senator Grassley wants a close look at, and I think it's legitimate to look at the bias of the investigators.
So let me ask you this, because then Republican Congressman Representative Francis Rooney, who we have on this show a lot from Florida, went further than Grassley has. And he said in an interview just yesterday on MSNBC that what is needed is a purge, his word, a purge of the FBI and the DOJ because of it. Just listen to him.
I'm very concerned that the DOJ and the FBI, whether you want to call it deep state or what, are kind of off the rails. So I don't want to discredit them. I would like to see the directors of those agencies purge it and say, look, we've got a lot of great agents, a lot of great lawyers here. Those are the people that I want the American people to see and know the good work's being done, not these people who are kind of the deep state.
A purge of the agency?
Well, I think Rooney has a legitimate point about the leadership of the Department of Justice and the leadership of the FBI. We're not talking about field aid.
Now, I would say to disband the entire thing, but we could start with a purge.
That interview with that representative that they're talking about on MSNBC, the girl keeps laughing at him incredulously. Like, I can't believe you're saying this. I can't believe you're saying this. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's hilarious. Sorry, I'm trying to get my phone to stop going off. Group texts make it so it just keeps going.
Right. So moving on to the world's craziness, I keep seeing articles over and over again about how awful it is in California right now. How you've got this socialist utopia that's coming apart. It seems when you
it's not working the way they wanted it to work. It's like Venezuela.
It is like Venezuela because you have the super rich people and the super poor people,
right?
And they're not mixing housing. They're not spreading the wealth.
Well, because it's kind of like you just said, and I know it seems so cliche to come back to this, but the whole teach a man to fish thing. It also, and you guys know this, so I know I'm preaching to the converted here, but it bears repeating. What happens when you give to people handouts, then they don't become industrious.
Right.
Okay? Necessity is the mother of invention, and that whole line of thinking where if you continue to give these handouts, people will become inherently lazy. And so then it's not even you're keeping them at some sort of par where they're sheltered and clothed, but it just kind of makes someone less than human a little bit, which then leads to worse things like drugs, and then it just kind of spirals out of control, and it's a societal epidemic.
So I also wanted to point out, this is Alex Jones' new site, News Wars, and they have they're trying to kind of make this site their New York Times type site.
I like it.
So you've got special reports, U.S. news, world news, economy, government, world at war, science,
Great
tech,
idea.
global. So I just wanted to point that out, that it's, you guys can check out News Wars. I go to InfoWars all the time. It's just easier for me. Terror attack in Russia yesterday. There was a bomb. Putin now is saying that it is terrorists, and he calls for terrorists to be
liquidated on the spot. What does that even mean?
I don't know. A number of injured following a blast in a St. Petersburg shopping center rose to 13 overnight from 10 originally reported, with 5 in grave condition.
Wow.
As the Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin confirmed the event was a terrorist attack. Speaking of the attack Friday morning, Putin remarked that while the state secretary services security services should work to arrest those responsible according to the law, if they possess an immediate danger to others, they should be liquidated on the spot. Saying that he had already given the order to kill bandits to the head of the Russian security agency, the FSB, while addressing an audience of soldiers who had fought in Syria against the Islamic State. Putin also remarked on the danger of the Islamic radicals coming from the Islamic State-controlled territory.
Right.
He's reported to have said, "What would have happened if these thousands, hundreds returned to us and returned trained, armed, and well-trained?"
Right. Aaron says liquidated or liquefied.
Initial reports of the blast Wednesday afternoon stated there had been less than 10 injured, but the figure was subsequently revised upwards to 13. So,
wow. But nobody died.
Yet. 5 in grave condition. So the local St. Petersburg State News Agency Fontanka reports security camera footage showing the alleged attacker walking into the supermarket with a rucksack, which he deposited into a storage locker before quickly leaving the premises. The suspect, seen wearing a green hooded top, is described as being of non-Slavic appearance and having brown hair. After leaving the device, he's reported to have hidden in the crowds of shoppers preparing for the Russian Orthodox Christmas on January 7th outside the shop before the detonation. So if you don't know this, we have a friend from Serbia. The Orthodox Christians, they don't celebrate Christmas until January 7th.
Because I think it's the completion of the 12 days of Christmas, and then that's why.
Right. I also wanted to bring attention to... I'm trying to close you out. I don't want to open you up. Hundreds of Muslims storm church, destroy its contents, assaults Christians inside. This is from Pamela Geller. Largely ignored by mainstream media and Western politicians is relentless persecution and slaughter of Christians in the Middle East. There won't be any reprisals, no cruise missiles, no outrage in the UN. The carnage brought to us by the religion of peace will continue so long as the root cause is ignored. While the West continues to deny the truth about Islam and the directives within the Quran demanding bloody jihad, there is no hope stopping this. The doctrine of Islam is fundamentally violent, period. And then she goes on to say, the Pope will continue to exhort us that Islam is peace, even as his Christian brethren continue to be targeted by Muslims in Egypt. Coptic diocese says hundreds assault the church in Egypt. This is from the Associated Press in December 23rd, 2017. So in Cairo, hundreds of Muslims demonstrators assaulted an unlicensed church south of Cairo. An Egyptian Coptic Christian diocese said on last Saturday, in the latest assault on members of the country's Coptic minority. The incident took place after Friday prayers when demonstrators gathered outside the building and stormed it. The demonstrators chanted hostile slogans and called for the church's demolition. The diocese said the demonstrators destroyed the church's contents and assaulted Christians inside before security personnel arrived and dispersed them. The wounded were transferred to a nearby hospital but didn't elaborate. The church in Giza, just outside of Cairo, is yet to be sanctioned by the state but has been observing prayers for 15 years.
Wow.
The diocese said it had officially sought to legalize the building status under a 2016 law that laid down the rules for building churches. Local authorities often refuse to give building permits to new churches. So,
for those of you that think that to be a Christian in today's day and age is easy, and that it's not dangerous, and the scriptures that talk about us being persecuted only apply to, our fellow churchgoers thinking that we're hypocrites because we watch some sort of movie and we're being persecuted. No, there are real people all over the world that are being persecuted.
Absolutely.
Their lives are in danger, and they are put to be a Coptic Christian in Egypt is to make an incredible stand for Christ.
Yeah.
And it's not just going against the flow or swimming upstream. It is putting your life on the line. You are going to be persecuted. No one around you is going to really want anything to do with you, and they're going to treat you like garbage. And so that's just happening in Egypt. We could go on and on about China and other places.
Absolutely.
North Korea. I don't think there's a single Christian there.
So to talk about the persecution that you were referring to that we receive, there's a bishop in Liverpool that has attacked Christians who support Donald Trump and a system which, quote, builds walls instead of bridges. Paul Baines, a senior figure in the Church of England, also appeared to argue that backing right-wing populism could be incompatible with biblical teaching. His intervention comes just days after the Archbishop of Canterbury, who leads the church, used his Christmas address to target so-called tyrannical and populist world leaders, widely perceived as a dig at Mr. Trump, President Trump. Adding to the politicized onslaught, Mr. Baines told the British left-wing Guardian newspaper, some of the things that have been said by religious leaders seem to collude with a system that marginalizes the poor, a system which builds walls instead of bridges, a system which says people on the margins of society should be excluded, a system which says we're not welcoming people anymore into our country. He said he regretted that people who call themselves evangelical in the U.S. seem to be uncritically accepting positions taken by Trump and his allies. Some quite significant so-called evangelical leaders are uncritically supporting people in ways that imply they are colluding or playing down the seriousness of things which in other parts of their lives would see as really important, he said. And people want to support right-wing populism anywhere in the world. They are free to do so. The question is, how are they going to relate that to their Christian faith? And if what I believe are clear teachings of the gospel about love for all, the desire for justice, and for making sure marginalized and defenseless people are protected, if it looks as though those teachings are being contradicted, then I think there is a need to say so. And I absolutely agree with the need to say so. I totally disagree with the fact that he thinks that the left-wing parties are the party of the church, which actually everyone in the left wing hates you, by the way. They don't like Christians, by the way. They don't like biblical teaching.
Right.
And this is what has happened when people like cozy up with certain sects of Islam. I'm not saying all of Islam, because Syria was running hand in hand, Muslims, Christians, Jews.
They all celebrated holidays with each other. Yeah.
Right. So, but the majority of Muslims, the majority of Islamic teaching, I shared an article on my Facebook page. If you guys don't follow us on Resistance Chicks on Facebook page, there is a wonderful person. Her name is Kari, and she is a very famous fitness instructor in Norway. And she has found our channel, and she sends us links
from time to time, keeps us kind of on the up for what is going on. Now, she went to visit Syria.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to see it for herself.
Exactly. And what she saw in last April was against the mainstream narrative. She said her and her group went legally through Lebanon, whereas all the other journalists go through illegally through Turkey. Mm-hmm. And so Al-Qaeda and ISIS take them around and show them the scenes that they're supposed to see and report on.
Right.
Which is totally retarded, right?
So while you're looking for that, I want to go back to the topic of like food stamps, because there were a couple of comments in here from people that said
she's so cute,
that they had to use food stamps for one reason or another. Like Tabitha said, to help with her disabled son. Here's the thing. We're not your average right-leaning people. We obviously don't identify with the left. And so we kind of come at you from all different directions. And so it may come as a surprise to you that we often say, if you're in that situation, our mom needed food stamps when we were kids. I remember being at the checkout line, and it was embarrassing. This was back before they had now they have like a credit card looking thing. You actually had, it was called a food stamp. It was a ticket, and each ticket represented a certain something that you could buy. I think like meats were one thing or whatever, and it was incredibly embarrassing.
Humiliating.
It was humiliating. You didn't want to have to use these things. And like my mom had commented in the chat that food stamps do work for people who are honest. And she said my mom roughly estimates it around 8%. I think that's probably pretty accurate. And so if you need them and they are there, then go ahead and use them. But here's the twist from Resistance Chicks is we don't believe that that system should be taken away. We think that it should be transferred back to the people whose hands it should have been in the first place, and that is the church. Not compulsory, where you have to pay taxes to help these people out. But if that money was given back to the people, and then the churches then can fill that void. Our church that we used to go to in Tulsa, Oklahoma, called Guts, they have, since we left, they have become kind of an epicenter of a food pantry and really have run this, amazing ministry where they give to single moms, and they don't just help them out with food, but like projects. If a single mom needs something done around the house, they have men in the church that will volunteer to go and do that. And those are the types of things, if you guys have a church and you have a say in this, those are the things that you should be proposing at church. Do we have handymen in the church that can volunteer to do a job for, you know what I mean? That is what the church is supposed to be doing. I have to tell you guys, the church should stop working so hard on trying to get butts in the seats and numbers of salvations and people that come to the altar, and actually be out in the community giving and working hard. That's what the church should be doing. But if you guys had to take food stamps, we did when we were kids. My mom did. Take them right now. We're trying to change the system so that most people don't have to rely on them.
What if they had given us land and seeds instead?
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
So I have this link to my Facebook page, but Kari is interviewed by it's called the Herland Report, and she just explains what's going on in Syria to the T, and I've read the whole thing. It's beautiful. She tells a great story of the people there. And so when we're talking about Muslims and democracy, you can have it, but for the most part, like she says in this article, the people in Syria, the reason they weren't fighting for President Assad. They were fighting because they didn't want to live under an Islamic State.
And that's so valid. I mean, why not?
They knew that ISIS was coming in.
And I would fight for that.
They wanted to induce Sharia law. Sharia
law. Can you imagine this free country?
Right. So when you've got these people coming in, these refugees that this bishop in England is talking about, coming in, and they want to impose Sharia law on people.
I'm not down with it.
And they are starting, like the Pakistanis are starting the Muslim grooming gangs. There was another article today that said the possible London is going to come out with a grooming gang bust soon. So Jesus said, "Don't cast your pearls before swine." And what that means is you want to help the right people.
Right.
And he also said, "Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves."
Right.
So when you're helping people, you've got to be wise about it.
Mm-hmm.
And kind and loving, but you don't go helping everyone who needs help. You do what you can. You do what God leads you to do.
Exactly.
And when you have everything government sponsored, you're going to eventually end up like Venezuela, where they have no money. Their money's has no value. They have no food. They have no land.
Right.
No way. But it's not that Venezuela itself doesn't have resources. It's not that they couldn't have had land, but they were importing everything.
Yeah.
Exporting oil and then giving everybody a little stipend into this oil money so that they could import things. And so they didn't have vineyards and farms and things like that.
It's kind of scary to think about that we could become that almost in an instant because of the fact that it used to be 100 or so years ago, people knew how to do things. It wasn't just the Amish. Men were industrious. Most men knew how to at least hang a picture or something. You know what I'm saying? Like work on their car, change the oil. I mean, that kind of even goes into like the 60s and 70s. We have just kind of slowly tapered off to where no one knows how to do anything, and every single thing is imported. So
Except
if we were
for our viewers.
if thank you. Tabitha even said she's starting to can and go back to like the ways of her mom and stuff. But what we have now is if we have, like, let's say an EMP or, I don't know, nuclear war, you name it, whatever could happen that would cause a massive collapse.
2008.
Natural disaster,
2008,
economic collapse.
We were going to see an economic collapse. The only reason we're all, like, buying things today and having happy Christmas.
Because of the bank bailouts.
It's fake. We would have been almost there, halfway there.
Exactly. So my point is, if and when, I think when, this happens.
Most people live on credit.
Nobody's going to know what to do because they can't function. It's going to turn into Venezuela, where you could grow in your own backyard. You could raise, we have 1 acre. We raise pigs, we raise chickens, we grow food. Anybody can do this stuff.
Our neighbor the other day said you guys must have had a bumper crop of pumpkins.
Well, that's because
we got all the pumpkins left over from the pumpkin farm down the street, and I was wondering how many people might have thought that we grew them.
Yeah, they instantly arrived. Yeah, but no, my point is anybody can do this stuff, but when the poop hits the fan, people are going to panic because they don't know how. And I believe it's the globalism, it's the deep state that has systematically weeded that knowledge out of people so that they can control. So you're always like in that situation, I don't know how to help myself. Because I got to tell you guys need to get started now, because learning how to farm and garden is hard work. You have to know these natural remedies. Like, there are so many failures that happen. You try to grow, a 10 by 10 area of food and see how well you do.
Your first year, you do great. The second year, you'll do pretty good. Third and fourth year, you'll do fantastic. And then after that, it'll be like, oh, this is hard. Just teasing.
Well, but you need animals. You need fertilizer, which is why vegans, if we've got some that are watching, whatever. But every farm cannot function without animals, because if you're not using the fertilizer from the animals, then you don't have a garden. You can't just use store-bought fertilizer.
And if you're a dude, if you're a guy, you have to be able to kill an animal.
True.
Even if you haven't done it yet,
right?
You have to know that you can do it. You have to want to do it.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's, like, yin and yang in the universe. And every time a guy says, I could never kill an animal, like somebody's soul just dies. It sucks the life out of a tree or something.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so here comes Patriot Gallery.
I'm sitting there telling everybody how easy it is. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's so free and it's so liberating.
Okay.
You guys come,
hang on.
It's awful.
It's not
teasing.
We
that's it, and we're learning.
Yes,
I was teasing.
Excuse me. Forgive me. What I meant was,
I'm not. Yeah.
If you were to fall right into it, and all of a sudden you had to provide for all of your food for your family for a year,
no, you're not going to be able to do it.
You just need knowledge and experience in order to get to that place, because even we can't grow everything, but the things that we can grow, tomatoes, green beans, potatoes, carrots, all that stuff,
peppers.
Even those things that we can grow, we still can't grow enough of them to sustain our family throughout a year, and we have the land to be able to do it. We're just missing some links.
Also, palm trails and acid rain.
Thank you. I think that's a big part of it.
That's just the thing. I've talked to a lot of gardeners. Every homesteader I know has had issues, and we think that their aluminum in the water, that what happens with the glyphosate and things, it's getting into.
Greenhouses are right now your best way to go to protect from the chemtrails.
Yeah.
Somebody had said start with small container gardens. Star Warrior Creations. So do that maybe with a greenhouse type thing to protect your stuff. So Aaron says, Leah, the soy boys would be distraught if they had to. So do you have any other news we need to cover? Or is that it?
Nope.
Sorry we didn't have much to bring you, but we figured we could go live as not. You know what I mean? Come to you. Here comes Patriot Gallery.
Well, you need really dirty water, like lake water, pond water. That's the best water with fish and all that gooey stuff in it. And we've got chlorine in all our water.
That's true. Robin Poe says, I have a quarter of an acre and I can actually survive because I started Jerusalem artichokes. They are a very nourishing tuber. I'm thinking about getting milk goats. I love it.
Oh, you're awesome.
Absolutely.
That's another thing. If you can catch your rainwater or water through a pond, our Amish, they have a pump. They pump and water through the pond water. Our water from the tap has chlorine in it, and it will slowly stunt your plant's growth.
Yes, very true.
So,
so Tobacco Rose says, in Kansas we shoot deer, but we get our cow meat at Walmart. So here's my suggestion. If you can, go in with a family and buy a half a cow. This is what we do. Because not only is it cheaper to do, but if you can get grass-fed beef and the fat in that beef is actually healing to your body.
It's a different color, too.
It tastes better, but contrary-wise, the meat that you get from Walmart will make you sick. It has chemicals pumped through it, hormones, whatever. I grew up on the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we've just recently, within the past 10 years, made the switch. And I would never go
it
back.
tastes so much better. And it's just that initial investment when you break the cost down. Literally, we're eating T-bone steaks and roasts and sirloins and cuts that we can't afford to buy. I maybe have eaten a couple of T-bone steaks in my whole life before that. And now we just have the ability to eat that. So usually I think it's, what ours breaks down to like $4.25?
No, it's less than that. I think it's maybe, it depends on how much beef is going for at the time. Beef prices rise and drop like the stock market,
It's been between $3 and maybe $4 a pound, but that's for all the cuts.
I like what Katrina says here. She says, shoot, I'm filtering out here. Shoot, if I can give life, I can take it.
Good. See, and what's funny is that I have found that today's women
are more likely to be able to. It
shocks me, actually, the new homesteading women that are butchering chickens.
Yeah.
And they're ready to come kill the hogs and butcher the hogs and do the things. I am like,
so
wow.
We're wanting, and I know most of our male viewers are fine, but we're wanting most men in society to step up and say, you know what, this is what I was created to do. Because it's like this, if you can't eat meat, then fine. We'll set you to the side. But if you are a meat eater, then I think that you have to be able to, because it puts you in touch with the food. Because, you know, my cousins, they're big, giant. We went to Russia and they said, big American football. I mean, they're just huge. And they can sit down and eat like 35 wings. And you guys have heard me say this on air before. That's like, what is that, 12 and a half chickens? You know what I mean? Or no, it's more than that. It's 15, 16 chickens, something like that. And
in order to appreciate, you have to be able to. You have to have killed the animal yourself.
But I get there.
So you might not sit down and eat 35 wings if you had to kill 12 birds.
Exactly. And I found that I'm more appreciative when and my favorite thing to do with the chickens that we raise is to fry it. It tastes like, oh my gosh, like it is heaven on earth. And so what I do is I will take the wings and I will take the smaller pieces so that I can like make sure every last bit of meat comes off of those tiny little bones, so that we're utilizing every little bit of it, because you don't want to waste anything, and you're more grateful.
And to be scientific about it, I don't know who it was. I just watched something on, it was a documentary like National Geographic or something, where they went into an untouched some South American tribe.
Okay.
And they took saliva samples from them when the men went hunting and when they came back. And they tested like testosterone and oxytocin.
Probably
oxytocin, not oxycontin. Oxytocin.
I don't think that's a naturally.
You know what I'm talking about? Oxytocin, the stuff that we give to the
that's exactly
pigs.
What. Yeah.
Men and women both have that, by the way, in different strengths. So when the men went hunting, the testosterone and everything was rushing through their bodies, right? And after they killed the animal, their body rushed in with oxytocin, which is a calming, loving thing. So nurturing thing, so that the man would bring home the kill and share it. So he wasn't coming back this all testosterone, high, super masculine. They actually came back in a nurturing mode.
I love it.
To share. And that's a scientific insight into what happens naturally.
I like it.
So men desire to hunt because it literally feels good. It rushes in their body. Men love to have that testosterone. Tim Allen, right? Okay. But then there's this good feeling. It's oxytocin is this good feeling, this love feeling that you have, this nurture feeling that you have for your friends and for your family and for your children, and you want to care for them, and it comes through your body. And I believe it's God's way of making sure that even if people aren't following the Bible, that their bodies signal to them what they should be doing.
Right. So coming from a female perspective, and I've had to kill a significant amount of animals, not by choice, just on the farm. I don't like to do the killing, but sometimes you and I are in the situation where it has to be done.
Just gotta do it.
The deer that I hit with the broken legs and I had to kill it, I don't think that happened to me. Like, I think the rush of adrenaline to do it is there. But I don't remember, I think, because I was like shaky afterwards. I don't remember any kind of oxytocin, like, oh, euphoria, amazingness. I don't know if that's just a guy, like, it's cool to talk about the differences between what's there as a gift for men versus
We were butchering
women.
turkeys with a couple. It was very interesting. The girl, the husband, had the wife do all the killing because he wasn't there yet.
Right.
In his mind.
Well, and he was referring to the chickens that they hadn't done turkeys until.
And she was ready to do it. And I think that our world is like upside down and right side up because a man should something should literally fuel through your body.
Right.
And be like, no, fair maiden.
Right.
I shall dispatch of the chickens for you.
Right.
Soy boy. You got to get the soy
I know
out, man.
that as a female, kind of with mothering instincts, as it were, when it comes to spiders or rodents or snakes or something like that, if there is someone like my mom or a younger female that is afraid of those kinds of things, I get a rush of, I will do this, I will take care of this, I will protect you. But if I am the female in the situation and like Kansas or Justin or somebody else that can do that stuff is around, like I'm instantly like, please get the spider. And it's not like, I'm not making it up. I literally am like, please just get it. It's so big. It's like this big. It's the biggest spider I've ever seen. And so I don't know. There's just this kind of, it's amazing that we have these kind of hormones and the way our brains work.
So,
God's beautiful design.
Example, we had a beautiful little Dominique chicken. I loved her. We called her the Diamond Thief because we got back from a trip once and she missed us so much that she came and she jumped on my shoulder. No. She was such a friendly, loving bird, and then she ate a diamond earring right out my ear.
She ate it, just boom, right out.
I never had diamond earrings before, and now I only have one. It just sits up in the cabinet. I never wear them again.
Well, what are you going to do? Stick it in your nose? It's kind of big.
So anyways, we called her the Diamond Thief. We did not kill her to get it out. We checked her poo for 2 weeks. But anyways, we quarantined her. But anyways, she was my favorite little chicken. And she'd sit on anybody's shoulder. She was super friendly. And we had hatched out some birds. And we had one that had grown into about a full-size rooster. And we were just keeping him around because we thought maybe he was
an extra rooster.
He was keeping the other girls safe. And I saw him violently attacking my Dominique for like the 5th or 6th time. And it made me so angry.
And we were, Matt and I were not at home.
She was hurt. Like he injured her. And I was so mad at this bird that I ran and I grabbed him. And this is the first bird. This is the first one I killed myself. I'd gutted a whole bunch. And I grabbed that bird and I said, we don't have rapists on this farm. And I just grabbed him up and I put him in a cone and I sliced his head and I felt real good about it. Like it just was so right. And it was just, yes.
We don't tolerate rapists.
So we chopped their heads off.
Yes.
And it just, and since then, the other birds, I don't have that. I don't have a desire to go and killing these birds. Kansas kills the birds. I like to gut them.
Robin says, I used to kill chickens with a machete. I would pet the chicken to get them calm, and when their neck stretched out, whack, whack, they didn't even jump.
Whoop.
Good job, Robin.
I'm impressed. All right, so we're going to go live tomorrow at 6.
Like we always do every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, let's do these really quick. I know that
you don't want to do them tomorrow at 6 with more people.
Yeah,
two more people.
All right. So we've got a couple of things that we're going to open. Besides, maybe I'll go back to the post office and see if there's anything else there. So we'll do a mail call tomorrow, and then we go live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So I was at the post office, and we know the post guys there,
Jeff and Bob
the mailman. And it's so funny because we never knew the mailmen before, but now they're part of the Resistance Chicks, and they follow us on Facebook. And so I went in to get the mail when I don't normally do. And what was his name? Jeff said to me, he goes, I don't normally see you here without your sister. I said, no, my sister's the mail girl. And he goes, that don't sound right.
You know, I get that. Right. I get that a lot on Resistance Chicks. It's the cheekbones.
She's the mail girl.
I'm the mail girl.
That's funny.
That was the end of your story. Okay, so you can go back to the post office tomorrow and see if there's any more mail at the Okay, so this Sunday is New Year's Eve, and we did a Christmas Eve special, and so on Sunday it's going to be a special, but not a Christmas Eve special. We're going to do a little skit for you, and I think you're going to enjoy it.
But it'll be a UK.
So try to be here on time,
type.
Right? But it's going to start. We're going to start out with the fun skit, like instantaneously. That's how we're going to lead into the show. So you want to be there exactly at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there or be square. All right. So I think that wraps us up. We're not going to sing.
No,
we're going to sing.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. You don't have any Christmas song you want to sing?
No, I'm going to go to bed.
Okay.
I gotta go to bed.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Somebody suggested that last time. I don't know the lyrics, but you're nasty, westy. What is it? Salt. Your heart is full of bananas or something. No, that would be sweet.
Can we just change it to be about Hillary Clinton?
Yeah. Hang on. Let's see if we can change this up here. Do you want to here? You do this section. I knew there was a banana in there. All right, go ahead. Let's make that one.
You're a mean one, Mrs. Clinton. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mrs. Clinton. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
Wow, that's okay. You're a monster, Mrs. Clinton. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You have garlic in your soul, Mrs. Clinton. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. I know it's really out of key. Go ahead, do the next one.
You're a foul one, Mrs. Clinton. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tenderness and sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mrs. Clinton. Given a choice between the two of you, I take the seasick crocodile.
You're a rotter, Mrs. Clinton. You're the queen of the sinful sots. Your heart's a dead tomato, splotched with moldy purple spots, Mrs. Clinton. You're a 3-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce. It's as best we can do.
You nauseate me, Mrs. Clinton.
With your nauseous super
nos. You're a crooked, dirty jockey, and you drive a crooked horse, Mrs. Clinton.
Your soul is an appalling dump heap, overflowing with the most disgraceful assortment of rubbish imaginable, mangled up in tangled up knots.
You're a foul one, Mrs. Clinton.
You're a nasty, westy skunk. Your heart is full of unwashed socks. Your soul is full of gunk, Mrs. Clinton. The 3 words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote, stink, stank, stunk. All right. I don't remember who suggested that we sing The Grinch, but now I think you have it, and hopefully that makes you feel better.
Do it for Obama.
No, we're not doing it again for Obama. All right. Okay. So there's your song for tonight. It was really great and on key and pitch. And I think we really messed that up. But you know what? It's the sentiment. It's the thought that counts. Did you guys hear the other day? And did I tell you this? Horatio ruined my entire Christmas.
What?
He started out, yeah, it was Christmas Day, I think. Or it was the day after Christmas. It was the day after Christmas. And he said, so I guess you're spending this time trying to find out if the George Soros news is real. And I said, I'm working. What George Soros news? And he said, that he had a heart attack. And I was like, Merry Christmas. God loves me. And I just got so happy. And I was full with joy and butterflies thinking of George Soros having had a heart attack. And then it turned out that it was not true. And all of my Christmas hopes and dreams were dashed to the ground.
So 94 people are watching right now.
87.
Well, 5 people left. No. 6,
if there's
7,
anyone here that's watching that's
7.
not subscribed, even if you are subscribed, you might have been unsubscribed. So go and check. Because we're about to tip over to 10,000.
7 people left, and you missed the news. I was going to get, every once in a while at the end, I like to throw something out there, something I think is funny. So when it's this cold out, you wear lots of layers.
Yes.
And also when it's cold out, when we get up really, really early and we throw on clothes quickly, and we get outside and we go throughout the day.
I don't like where this is going.
I think this is the 3rd day I've thrown this on.
That shirt?
Mm-hmm. This long sleeve with this and these pants. I wore different sweatshirts.
Hang on though.
And this is the first day I wore the sweater.
I
changed underclothes and socks. Socks several times because they always get wet.
Yeah. I have obviously changed underclothes as well, but I have the same pair of long johns that I've been wearing for 3 days.
So you're here, little tidbits.
That's great.
This is a $1.50.
Irish
this is
princess.
a $1.50 shirt that we got on clearance somewhere, and it works really well.
Really,
it works really well with a long sleeve shirt.
That's great, but it's not St. Patty's Day.
No, it's not. But I wear it. That's why I'm wearing it under the things. And then you wanted to go live, and so I had the sweater on. But then in the coat, I got really hot. And then I thought these people they need to know who they're watching. I believe that we owe them
the realness,
the honesty, of how awesome we are.
Right.
I think we owe them that.
And what's really funny about
TMI, too much information.
I have a lot of different long johns, and I could trade them out.
And you know what? here's the thing. I have a lot of long sleeve shirts. I have a lot of t-shirts. But what I'm trying to tell you people is we have been really, 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 really busy.
But this is, I don't remember being this busy all year long.
No. We haven't had any sleep for like 5 days.
Okay, Stacy's here, and we don't want to hear about you. Okay, she posted something the other day on Facebook because she's in Wisconsin, and she's like, my family was just made for Wisconsin. What was Ruby out ice fishing? I don't remember exactly what the post said.
Yeah.
But you guys are ready to go outside and be in the cold. She says,
but
-20.
Stink.
I put on a turtleneck and a wool sweater and jeans, no coat. Just a hat and gloves. I get too hot. Never want to sweat in cold weather. In -20, she's putting on a turtleneck.
Some people are made for Wisconsin. I was not made for Wisconsin or Minnesota. Okay, I realized that my relatives came over from Sweden to Minnesota. And you know what? They transported their booties to Cincinnati, and that's where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not feeling it up there. I don't want to feel it. Please, God. And now I'm feeling it right now. I don't want to feel zero. Zero is not a temperature.
Donna Terry takes care of her horses as well.
Donna lives around the corner from us.
She says, it happens. I've kind of been wearing the same stuff.
See what happened was this morning? I'm going to tell you what happened was this morning. There my sweatshirt was, and this was in the sweatshirt. And so I was like, it was early, and it was cold, you people. Cold. And so I just put it on real quick, and I went outside, and then I came back, and you know what I do?
What?
I would show you the pictures. At like 10:30 or 11, when I get back and I'm freezing, I go down. We have this really cool conversation piece, and I curl
on the
up
Christmas show
with a blanket in front of the fire, right?
Right.
And sometimes I might even take a little nap. So I took a little nap, and then I got back up. And then I was outside in the freezing cold for hours and hours and hours. And my face was numb. And my hands were numb. And then Michelle came in and said, you know, do you want to go live? And I said, I am hungry and I need to defrost.
So you know we did
ate some soup.
And we watched Dunkirk.
Stupid. I watched part of it and I just brought up the links. Because it was really boring.
It
Sorry.
was not good.
It was really boring.
I did not enjoy it.
And then Michelle went live and we went live and we put all of our stuff on. I was like, I could go change. But why? Why? Why tonight? Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, man.
Hang on.
That's what you got to do.
So, I don't know. Hang on. Because
what are you doing?
Wait a minute. So,
you better keep your pants
Squirrel had said, let me go back to this. Get Thinsulate or 100% pure silk long johns, ladies. Cotton and polycotton are a joke. So, but I don't know. Move your arm. I don't know what this is. These are mine. These are what is that? Is that Thinsulate, you think?
I don't know. I'd have to see the tag.
I have no idea what that is, but it's not cotton or polycotton. It's like I don't know. Kind of reminds me of like workout material.
I had these sweatpants on and I'm sweating hair standing. Because I can walk around in like zero in like my long coat. These are really warm.
I want to do a shout out to one more time to Amelia, because I literally will walk around, don't I? We'll walk around the house like this. It's not that our house is cold. I just feel more comfortable with like a hat.
I like to wear a hat too.
Show them what your hat does.
Oh yeah. So when my face is cold, this would be great.
Because she can see out of hers. I told her she thought she looked like Spider-Man. I was like, no, really? You just look like a knight. Look at your picture there.
I can see.
Yeah, but it's gonna get snotty in there,
and it's gonna get really
Aaron.
hot.
Mine is like Under Armour, whatever that. It's I don't know.
Under Armour is going low on them business. They haven't had good sales lately.
Spider Girl. Oh my gosh.
We have been a hot mess.
95% air says, oh, I would die without long johns. I agree. Sook says you look like you've got a hijab. Jim West says Leah Thug. Allah Akbar says Marcin.
Yo. We gotta start off. We gotta go back out. And I'm afraid of it.
Okay,
The cold is now a force to be reckoned with.
Let's bring this back to the fact that all of our busyness ended this afternoon. And we only have one visit left this evening. So when you say we have to go back out,
I don't know.
I think that one of us doesn't have to be a part of that we.
I guess I better put on my beard. If I'm going to be the one going.
I will stay home and clean the kitchen, right? And I will put all this away. And you can wear the Santa thing.
I'm ready to go.
And go on now. So we sang you the song. Hopefully that makes you happy or sad, whichever.
I really like this look.
I think it's a nice Santa look.
I think I might keep it.
Right.
What do you guys think? Yay or nay?
You do look kind of like a cute little gnome.
Have you guys heard about the women growing the beards lately?
No.
It's been all over Facebook.
No, because here's the thing. I can fix you. We have essential oils and hormone things and stuff like that to fix the hormone imbalance that grows. So you're not going to bring it up. That has these women growing beards.
Yeah, there's lots of women now.
Let's see. Jay Fletched 2 says, hey girls, me in Northeast Ohio, same long johns 2 days. Really, really cold up here. I believe
What do you guys think? You think who wear it better, me or her?
Are you guys near Lima, Ohio? Define near.
Define near.
We could get there. What Lima, like a couple.
That's
pretty. Dang, that's not even right. That is so wrong. But some of those are fake. But this is the lady that's been famous for it.
She's making it work. She's even got gray in the beard.
I cannot. But I could fix her. Like Jesus can fix her, and essential oils and hormone replacements and stuff can fix that.
But it's so attractive.
But see, your beard actually looks better.
I like my beard. I think I'm gonna keep it.
Oh my gosh. Hang on. Let's see. I want to see something because we were supposed to be doing a subscriber countdown to the new year because we started Resistance Chicks a year ago. We are at 9,996.
And unfortunately, that we have been stuck here
because they keep taking our subscribers.
They keep taking it. We go down and we go up. We go down and we go up.
All 87 of you watching right now, please check and make sure that you are still subscribed.
Yeah,
to our channel. because
check.
I think that we can make it to we need to top 10,000 because they will still take some away.
Yeah.
So we need to go over 10,000 so that we can drop back down.
Well, it was the Charlottesville video. We got flagged on the Charlottesville video because that one video took off. Over 160,000 views, and we're getting like 2,000 subscribers from that video,
right? And
somehow we got flagged, and we've stalled, and that's okay though, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You guys are here, and God brings the right people. But the whole idea that the whole algorithm is censored is just ridiculous.
Stop it! Oh my gosh. All right, Soros gets jealous if you get too many. A lot of people are coming, and there is Eric right there, Eric Buskey. He says he's still subscribed, and a lot of people are saying that they still are subscribed. Awesome. Stacy says, I have been pulled off of a couple other channels this week, but still a sub on yours. That's good to hear. So we love you.
God loves you.
God bless. Don't forget, it is not just a conspiracy theory.
If it's the truth.
Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed to both of our channels.
Resistance Chicks.
Exactly. We have a P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio 45150. If you want to leave us your comments in an actual letter, we will read them on air. We can't always read every email that we get, but the letters we will always read on air. So I want to thank all of our subscribers who are here tonight, even those that showed up late. Maya was here. Sook's worth a look.
I don't want a beard.
Stacy, I don't want a beard either. And you know what? That means you have to go outside. So you have the beard tonight. So you go to the pet visit, and I will be the cleaner upper of the kitchener.
I'm gonna go lie down.
Gary, I don't know why. It's like he's just like a part of Resistance Chicks. I don't say Leah. Gary's just literally always here. So Hitlery is jealous of you. And our dear friend Aaron, I love it when our friends pop in the chat, like Aaron. So thank you for being here. Say hello and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to Nate and the girls. All right, you guys, we love you. God loves you. God bless. And we'll see you back here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the skit. Be on time. Set an alarm on your cell phone.
Be there. Be
or something.
Square.
I was cold all alone. No place for home. Every day, so afraid. But you called my name. Turned my eyes to the lies.
Are you done being annoying? You can't help it. Your eye is droopy.
All right, let me wait.